and I've been coming here to Clarkston, working with this ministry for about the past 3 years. Right now, I'm bringing my daughters here. I've got 2 teenage daughters who come with me, and we're working in the tutoring program. Mostly working with 1st and 2nd grade children. All 3 of us love being with these kids. We love just having the opportunity to get to know them, help them with their homework, help them just listening to them read. It's just a blessing to play games with them afterwards, go out and play in the playground. In the past, we've also worked with the Bible Club ministry, and we used to come and help teach Bible stories and lead worship and sing with the children, and just seeing their joy, seeing their excitement for learning, and being part of sharing Jesus with them is just a huge blessing in our lives.
Every Monday we do this thing we call Infusion, where we come down to these apartments in Clarkston, and basically the reason it's called Infusion is because we want to infuse the goodness that God has given to our community into the other communities. And what a better place to do it than Clarkston, because Clarkston's awesome. I've heard it's one of the most diverse places in the Southeast, and I mean, who even cares? These kids are just so great that we come to at the Willow Branch Apartments here. And so yeah, Infusion is really just that, just taking God's love and His goodness and just sharing the wealth.
I'm retired from being a parapro in the public schools, and I was working special ed with 2nd and 3rd graders. And I always worried what I was going to do when I retired. But in the summers, I worked with Tim Cummins, who's a NAM Mission Board apartment missionary. And I worked in the summers and did little backyard Bible classes for him. And he told me, don't worry, when you retire, I have enough work for you to do until Jesus comes back. And so when I retired, I called him, and he introduced me to Bennett and said I could find something closer to your house, but this is where the real need is. So I came, and the ministry was just about 2 years old then, and Bennett was doing a lot of the work himself, and so gradually we've gotten more and more people to help. The ministry has grown a lot in the 5 years that I've been here. But I just love it. I always said to the Lord that when I retired I wanted to work for Him, and this is the opportunity that He's given me. And I love kids. I like to teach school, so the after-school tutoring is a perfect setup for me.
I bring my 2 children, Thomas and Autumn, to Family Heritage every week to tutor kids, and the ages range from kindergarten to 7th, 8th grade. We normally tutor the younger children, and it's been such a blessing for Thomas and Autumn to just have that opportunity to see things once a week from a different perspective. And the kids here are so appreciative of everything we teach them, and they're so eager to learn, and they're so bright, and we just are very thankful for what God's doing here, and to see all the volunteers that come and the way their hearts are so full every time they leave. There's not a person that I've met that isn't changed when they pull out of the parking lot of this place. So we know that God has great things in store, and He's doing awesome things every single week. His power is felt here. The Bible studies that are taught are definitely on the level that the children can understand, but the Holy Spirit continues to draw people to Himself, and we're just thankful for what He allows us to do.
Well, I'm a Mission Service Corps missionary, and I always felt like God was calling me to missions, but I always thought that missions had to be overseas. And I've been on a number of overseas short-term mission trips, but a few years ago I was exposed to local missions through an event at our church called Impact Atlanta, where we came out into the apartment communities and did basically a block party, a one-day event, and realized that God had left me in Atlanta for all the years I was born here, because He brought the world right here to me. And so I've gotten involved in ministry with refugees and immigrants, and I work in various ways. I am a nurse by background, so I do some of my work with expectant and new moms, teaching about infant care and childbirth education. I do some ESL teaching with some adult, mostly women that need to learn English as a second language. And then we started the children's choir here. And I just love doing music with children. I've done music at our home church for years and have been involved in choir. So I thought it would be a wonderful opportunity to teach these kids how to praise and worship God.
We come once a week every Thursday for about an hour, hour and a half. And we come and we tutor elementary and middle school students. I just enjoy coming to see the kids. They're just really fun to be around, and being able to tutor children, sometimes it's challenging because we don't speak the same language, a lot of them. So it's interesting to have a discourse with two total different languages and still trying to come out with the same outcome on their math. So that's always an interesting project, trying to find out, okay, what language are we going to try and learn today? So that's always fun. But we just enjoy the experience just all together, just meeting the kids and reminding us that it's not just about us in our house, that there are other things going on besides us, and that we can lend a helping hand to help someone in a small way that I believe they're being helped on Thursdays.